thanks to folks using my affiliate links that are reachable on my blog, links in the doobly-doo, I was able to make a slightly larger purchase on Drive-Thru RPG than I usually do. And I would say not just slightly larger, but I actually ordered some more expensive books. I tend to aim toward the cheap stuff if I can. But this wasn't super expensive, but I've been wanting to pick it up for quite some time. I finally did, and that is Sly Flourish's Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master by Michael E. Shea. Mike Shea from Lazy Dungeon, or from Sly Flourish, the YouTube channel. I know other things, but I know him from the YouTube channel. Prepare what benefits your game. Now, I know that I've been watching Mike Shea's videos for a few years now. He's another person that I started watching. I guess it was during the pandemic at my job. I was alone a lot. And so I would be down in my office working, and I would just pop some videos on, on YouTube, and while I did work, and I watched a ton of Matt Colville videos at the time, watched a ton of Seth Skorkowski, and I ended up watching a bunch of Sly Flourish videos and Mike Shea's videos. Here's the credits if they're going to show up. Now, I know that in the time since this was released, now this was like a follow-up to an original version. This was like his updated version. And I know in the time since then, he has sort of changed his mind on a few things, modified a few things himself in his own prep. I've watched some of his prep videos. I was watching the series when he did for Shadow Dark. I don't know why I stuck with that one, whereas I haven't been watching his most recent one, and I don't think I watched the campaign before that, but I watched the Shadow Dark one that he did for a while. And I've gone back and I've been watching the Ghosts of Saltmarsh one because I picked up Ghosts of Saltmarsh and I've thought of running it for some folks. Anyway, these are his bits of advice for how to make game prep less of a chore. And there's, I think, some really cool ideas. I think he makes some very good points about only prepping what you need, or trying to only prep what you need, only prepping like one session out, that kind of thing. And I just think there's some great ideas in here. And so I had the free version of it, which I had printed out. It's, basically a synopsis, I think, of each chapter. But now, I figured I would finally pick up the actual full version of it. I like a lot of the art in here. And, I know it's originally written for Dungeons & Dragons, but most of this translates to other games, certainly to other fantasy games. It should not be a problem for using it for Dungeon Crawl Classics or Shadow Dark or whatever one that you might be into, OSE or, I don't know what. So, it looks cool. I like the art. I am kind of tempted to pick up the Fantastic Locations at some point. I like, and I think it's one of the pieces of advice in here is the, I really do think it's in here somewhere. It's the making the set piece, making the scene vibrant by making the place in which it takes place more exciting. Anyway, blah blah blah. Have you used this in your own prep? I am hoping to read it relatively soon, if wishes and all that. Have you checked it out? Do you want to check it out? Have you looked at Sly Flourish's YouTube channel? He doesn't need my channel to direct anybody toward his channel. However, I think it's a pretty good one. I do watch his Lazy GM's talk show or whatever on that it posts like once a week, and it's a good series. He does new, very for a long time was very D&D focused, less so now, but tends to be D&D adjacent, similar type games. Not always my cup of tea, but still good information, still a fun show, and I think he has some good insight into the hobby. Plus, I mean, he publishes, so he knows what he's talking about as far as some of the publishing side of things go. Until next time, take care.